So first off, I'd like to tell you that I have done about 6 shows so far. So I just got back from Houston. I did the end of summer Poke Bash for the Cards and More tour. It was a great show. It was 2 days. It was my first 2-day show. It was my first show out of the DFW marketplace or DFW area, essentially. And it went great. I had a blast. I had these special Tohoku Pikachu boxes. They sold out in the first day. It was fantastic. No issues. I ran across a trade, or I had a gentleman come to my booth, and I apologize, I don't have video of it.
I don't like that.
For some reason, my camera was not working whenever this happened, unfortunately, because I was trying to find out who sold it to me. I thought it was a vendor at the show, but I don't think it was. I think it was someone that was just happened to be there. But I had the gentleman come to my booth, and he was curious if I would be interested in trading for anything of his. And I said, of course, I'm always interested in trading. Trading is one of the key main things that I like doing. So he hands me some cards. I look through the cards, and one of the cards is this Houndoom. So, and I've seen this card recently on, I believe, Facebook, some of the Facebook groups that I'm in. It was really sought after, it was really cool. I looked at the card, and yeah, the market on it was going crazy. So I said, okay, man, I'm really interested. I love the artwork. It has a big swirl on it. It was very cool, and I'm a big fan. So I said, okay, great. So I start looking the card up on TCG Player. And when you look a card up on TCG Player, it automatically assumes that card is a first edition. So when I pull it up and I see on there the card is worth about $250, oh my gosh, that is up there. When I'm usually pricing cards, especially with modern stuff, it's a lot easier. There's not first edition stuff. And I know what to look for because I've been dealing with Pokemon. I got back into Pokemon about 3 or 4 years ago. So I've been around the scene long enough to understand what to look for and things like that, conditions, blah, blah, blah. I looked at the price, and he was even telling me, the customer was telling me,
I was looking at it valuing around $200 to $250.
Most of the time, customers that come to my booth, they know the price of a card because they just looked it up at a different booth. They had someone else looking at it.
Oh, would you look at that?
They were interested in it. They looked it up, or the customer looked it up, said, hey, here's the value, or they found out, hey, here's the value. Okay, I know what it's worth. So when they tell me that, I am more of a glass half full type of person and like to trust that people are being honest with me. And unfortunately, they were not being honest with me. So that was my first mistake. My second mistake was, and you can ream me in the comments for this one, I did not take the card out of the sleeve or the top loader to check the condition. I know, cardinal sin.
I'm done with him. Done with him.
When you're looking at vintage cards, it is always ideal. Obviously, I looked at the back. I looked to see if there's whitening, if there's anything on the edges. Your typical stuff, but I just never thought, oh, let me get this card out of here and check to see if there's damage. Let me see if there's a crease. Let me see if there's something peeling. Let me see if there's something bent that I can't see while it's in here. That is the main thing that you need to do when you're looking at cards, especially vintage cards. And I knew that going in. I truly did. But my brain works a little different, and especially when I'm in that moment, when I'm doing the vending, I'm very happy-go-lucky. I want to talk. I want to get the conversation started. I want to, banter and see what else that the customer's into outside of Pokemon that we can conversate about. I'm just that kind of person. But I get caught up and I get distracted, and that's my own fault. So where I ran into my problem was trusting the customer and him telling me the price. And when I look it up, oh, he's right. It says $250 right here. Well, I look on the back. The back is very clean. There's one little white dot at the top, and I don't notice anything else. So, oh, this is fairly clean. So I think I priced it around maybe $230, $240 for the white dot. and then offered about 80% in trade. And I believe I got this with a couple of other cards that I ended up either trading. It was either my Magikarp or it was my Greninja EX. One of those two very big cards I ended up trading with for this and a few other cards. After the deal was done, I was taking videos, I was super happy. I thought this is the first cool big vintage card I've ever bought, and it is. This is technically my first big vintage card that I have gotten ever. This was my first big vintage card that hasn't been graded, essentially, if you want to count that for anything. I was very excited. I was super happy. I thought it was very cool. The show ended up being great. This was on the first day. And I got home, I looked up this card and I looked at the price and I noticed, oh, there's first edition or unlimited. And immediately in my head, I thought, oh no.
I've done some dumb things, and I'll do dumb things again.
This had better be a first edition card or I am screwed. And when I pull it out, of course, what do I see? I do not see a first edition picture on there. Most cards, and I'll use this other one as an example, right here, you will have a first edition logo in here. It will say first edition with a little 1, and it'll say edition going across the top. So you immediately know it's black on a red card, yellow card, whatever color the card is, not black. So on this one, it's the same thing right here, but it is very difficult to see. Now, I'm not saying that I was looking for that and thought it said it. No, I didn't look for it at all. Totally my fault. There is nothing there. It is just a white or a faded circle right next to where the first edition logo should be. Okay, so how much did I overpay for this card? So I look it up. The card at first edition value, $250. The unlimited holo version is only $100. I say, okay, well, let's double check the condition. Let's just make sure that it's just that white dot. The card on the back, there is a crease right here going down and around. It almost starts where the white dot is from what I can see. It's not quite there, but the white dot is actually separate from it. I thought it was connected and somehow, made it all as one piece of the damage with the white dot and the crease. But there is a noticeable crease in there. And essentially what I did was I priced it as a damaged card.
Now that's a lot of damage!
Because usually when you have something like that, any kind of crease or really visible damage that isn't just whitening on the edges, because usually whitening on the edges, what that means is the car's been played. Not necessarily all the time that it means it's been played, like someone that actually plays the TCG game, fumbling through it, flipping through them, all that kind of stuff. Eventually the card will get wear and tear on the edges. That's really the main thing. You have lightly played, you have moderately played, and you have heavily played. And then you have damage or DMG. So I considered this DMG. So when I priced it again and I changed the condition of it, it dropped it down to $50, really $49 and some change. But my heart sank. I could not believe I let this get away from me. I think the biggest lesson that I learned was that I can't look at cards as shiny pieces of cardboard outside of having the conversation with the customer. But also, if you're trying to either make money or vend or just do anything in the market of trading, buying, and selling, pay attention. Pay attention to the card. Focus on the condition. Focus on the version of the card. Make sure it is the exact card that you are looking at, because that is where you will make the mistake that I did.
The greatest teacher failure is.
You will get too infatuated with the artwork, with the rarity, with the coolness of the card, and you will completely forget the type of card that you're looking at. And this is the first time that I have made this mistake. I say first time. I may have made this mistake in the past and I just didn't realize it. But at least the first one that I've caught. And this is the first time I've made this mistake, at least while vending for sure. Because most of the time I have not bought any vintage stuff. Again, this was the first vintage thing that I have bought off of anyone that I would consider of high value or sought after card. So this was technically my second vintage card that I had considered high value, sought after, liquid, however you want to phrase it. I really hope that this helps in you understanding what you need to look for. I know that this process was either considered insignificant to some of y'all or very significant to some of you others. I considered it very significant. Losing out on possibly $200 worth of value in the card is a big deal to me, especially on one card. Overall, I hope your takeaway from this was a good lesson learned, because I definitely learned my lesson. I definitely am going to start paying more attention, especially when vintage stuff, because I want to buy more vintage. I like the vintage stuff. It's harder to get into right now. I know the market is a little crazy, but I definitely want to try and get more into it. I'm trying to focus a lot of my attention on things that I don't know about. Vintage, slabs, Japanese, stuff that I am unfamiliar with, I want to get familiar with. I want to understand everything if I can, obviously. So research can only get you so far. Being there in the moment and doing it is definitely going to help you learn a lot faster, at least in my opinion. So with that said, I hope you all are having a great day. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you for tuning in. Don't make the same mistakes I did, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks, guys.